Alright, hello everybody out there. This is Boat here. I've enabled the cheat that gives me infinite lives and infinite time in order to fully appreciate Superfrog. So I'm giving this game another chance. I made the point on our Discord server the other day that Superfrog is not a bad role-playing game, or not a bad platforming game by the standards of the Amiga. But you know, it just can't hold a candle to the best of the best console platformers. And so I just am revisiting this to see if that really is the case or not. Hey, my chicken. So this is one of the best games on the Amiga in terms of platforming, as I just said. So you know, if you're into the Mario / Sonic type games, this is probably going to be your go-to. There's one game that I think is vastly superior to this called the Addams Family, but as far as, you know, famous Amiga platformers, this is it. Team 17's own Superfrog. One thing you notice right away is that Superfrog's jump is incredibly floaty. It doesn't, there's no, for example, you know, in Super Mario Brothers, the longer you hold down the button, the higher he jumps. Well, in Superfrog, you touch the button and he jumps full strength. So it's a little bit less precise than a game like Super Mario Brothers. There's also a million things to collect in this game, and you're never sure what it is you're collecting and why it is you're collecting. I'm sure the manual explains all these things, but again, the genius of the console platformers is that you didn't need the manual to understand the game. You know? This is very much like many Amiga platformers in that you have to collect a certain number of things to access the level, or to exit the level, sorry. And so I've got to go back through this thing now, and okay, I've got all the coins necessary. I was close. Oops. But what I would love is if you could just tap the button and do a little jump to where you wouldn't hit that B, but be able to hit that blue blob. Unfortunately, with Superfrog, you can't do that. The precision just isn't there. Now the blue blob is gone, so it's all good. Now I'll tell you what I do like about Mr. Frog is the fun fruit machine game you can play. So I don't understand how any of this works because I'm not from the UK, but my guess is that, you know, you wager a certain number of credits and you spin the wheel. Hey, I won. All right. So, and then this is where I guess you do double or nothing, something like that. Boy, I think I'm just going to take my winnings though and leave. So, oh, well, so much for that. Yeah, nothing. Okay. I'm not sure how you actually get out of here. I can't remember. Surely you don't have to. Oops. there are slot machines, but they're not everywhere because gambling is still, well, it's still illegal in many parts of the United States. And there are strict regulations on where you can put them. Unlike in the UK, where you can have, you know, every pub has a fruit machine or two. In the US, you have to have a special license. And most places that are gambling establishments, that's all they are. So there'll be these very shady looking places that have a front, like a coffee house or something, and then you go into the back and you see where all the stuff is. So I guess I've got to gamble all my credits. Again, it seems. But I'm not. I get confused easily whenever. I'm not a frequent goer of the casino, and whenever I do play, I always play the most simple slot machine possible because I'm always afraid that I'm going to make the wrong choice when I have to make some kind of a choice. All right. Here we are, and that makes sense. There's definitely a ton of slot machine and gambling games on computers here too, and I guess online casinos are a thing now too, where you can gamble real money and all that stuff. So. Yeah, everything is just very touchy in this game. You know, you're always on, I guess, a slippery surface. There's a little bit of momentum, but when you go to make a turn, it just feels, this doesn't feel right. And it's like in the air, you're so incredibly floaty. Like I'm trying to stop and land on those bees. You know, in Mario, this would be a very easy thing to do. But in this game, it's a different control system, and everything is just incredibly touchy. I'm just trying to make as many comparisons as I can. Infinite lives definitely help. So where are you at? Or I assume you're in the UK. My chicken is not raw. Or my chicken not raw, sorry. What parts of the great United Kingdom do you reside in? See, it's like there. It's you don't jump high enough to make it up there, but the computer pulls you up into it. Like I didn't want to do that, but I was doing it no matter what. I guess maybe I'm invincible now. Yeah, because invisible means, well, except for spikes. That's always the rule with games. Hey, Chris. Central UK. I guess that could mean any number of places. I spent some time in Sheffield about 10 years ago, but I did not travel as much in the UK as I would have liked. I was too busy taking advantage of all the cheap flights to Europe. And hopefully one day I'll go back. Derby, eh? All right. Yeah, I never went to Derby. I don't even know what county is that in. Derby, sure, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, I definitely don't want to gamble. I do think it's quite funny how the developers have adopted the Sonic whirling legs on Superfrog. I think they were trying to make, you know, because there are sections of this where you can really get some speed up, but of course they never let you get too far without putting an enemy in your way, much like the normal Sonic. Of course, there's the whole Lucozade angle, which I thought was interesting. That is not a drink that we have here in the States. And I believe it was Brutal Barracuda, one of Amiga listener, Brutal Barracuda, that sent us some Lucozade drink, which we enjoyed. Oh boy. So this is the #1 problem I have with this game. So, you know, they encourage you to make these huge jumps, and you're like, boy, I'm having so much fun, and then you die. I wish they would have just let you have that. You know, these blind jumps where you can't see where you're jumping to, and you don't have any control over the height of your jump. That's no good. It's no good. Yeah, I used to work at the Apple Store in Meadowhall. It was the definitely the part of Sheffield that people travel to most from out of town. The city center is not much to write home about. Here's another weird thing. Why would you put this? There's no double jump. I don't think, I guess there might be a flight power. Oh, I forgot you have this thing? Yeah. Forgot you have a projectile. Of course, it doesn't seem to really do much good against this guy. So, yeah. That's right. That's right, my chicken. We're all connected. Okay, so there's that place that I couldn't get to before. And now I'm sort of stuck wondering where I'm supposed to go. I guess I just gotta explore the level a little bit more. I worked there in 2008 and 2009, right? Is that right? No. Would have been 2009 and 2010. It's hard to believe that's 10 years ago almost. I guess I've got to make my way back over this way. Big Dangerous is a different kind of game. It reminds me sort of like a spiritual successor to something like Jet Set Willy, where, you know, it's so hard from the get-go. and this game is more of a Mario clone. But they're both, I mean, Rick Dangerous, those are good games. I think there was 2 of them. I think I played both of them. And it's like, I don't know. This isn't fun to me. Just like, you know, traversing this level, wandering around, like, where am I supposed to go? You know? Do I have to backtrack even more? Now, it is definitely more palatable in my current state where I have infinite lives and infinite time. But, I don't know. It's just a different game. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different than what I'm used to. Because there's definitely a lot of Superfrog love out there, and I can't argue with the graphics or the aesthetic of the game. You never know. Maybe we ran into each other one day. Maybe I sold you an iPod cable or something. Oh, man. So I found the exit. I was just getting 18 more coins and then finding my way back. But if all I'd ever played before was Zool, and I got my hands on Superfrog, I would have thought it was the best game ever to exist because it is so much better than Zool. Yeah, my favorite time of being an Apple fan was when I worked at the Clarendon store, which is in Virginia. My first tenure at Apple, which was 04, 05, in that time period. And it was a really exciting time, and actually it was just before when I started working. When the G4 machines were out, and I just thought that the G4 Power Mac was just the most beautiful machine that had ever been created. I was just in love with it, and they had the Cube, and the Cube was great. Even the G3 Power Mac, the blue and white, was gorgeous. You were never sure what Apple was going to come out with next. You know, it was a very, it was still, there was that still part of the initial, you know, giddiness of having Steve Jobs back. And I love the G4, the 12-inch G4 PowerBook. Still one of my favorite laptops of all time. And that, you know, you had the iPod was out, and it was cool. Although at the time we thought, oh man, Apple's just turning into the iPod company. They don't care about computers anymore. Little did we know, when the iPhone came out, that would actually be exactly what happened. Let's see. I think there might be a level skip here. Well, we'll go ahead and play through. I think there might be a boss at the end of this, so we definitely want to see the boss. I'm curious if you, when you're coming off, I guess the bees are never going to be there, okay. They alter their path accordingly. What are you up to today, Chris? I guess you're at work, right? Oh, man. That's a cool looking thing. That kills me. And the CBD. What is the CBD? So this thing you can't jump on top of, I guess. So we'll come over here. And it just never spawns again, so we're never quite sure what it is. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Yeah, Apple's history is fascinating. I actually have not been a Mac user in about 5 or 6 years, just because I don't think the quality of their product has not kept up with the increase in price. Back in the day when Windows XP was sort of the default, and you had OS 10.4 through 10.6. To me, those operating systems were just so far ahead better than the Mac. Plus, the Mac just had a lot going for it, design-wise. Now I just, whenever I use a Mac, it doesn't feel the same. It feels different, and it feels like it's been put on the back burner. Which, I can't blame Apple for putting it on the back burner, because what makes it the money? What makes Apple is the iPhone. But I still use an iPhone. See, it's like, why would you have a ledge up here? What is the purpose of that? Like, I don't know. There's the level design in this game is sketchy at best. The Central Business District. That sounds important. Are there tons of skyscrapers and stuff all around, Chris? Oh, wow. Is that close to the Opera House? Cool. It's on my must-see list if I ever make it down under. I'd love to see the Sydney Opera House and go see a performance there. Of course, I definitely have to meet up with you and Graham Bebke. Of course, I have no idea where you go. I guess you live close to Sydney, but I have no idea. I can't remember where Graham lives. I think he might. I don't know. I don't even want to guess. Australia is so vast. It's. Let's say he. I don't know. So I'm 25 minutes into this, and I've basically been in the same environment that whole time. This sort of greenery thing. Another thing that makes this different than the console platforms is that you constantly have different environments. That you might have 2 or 3 stages that are the same, and then a boss, and then you move on to something else. And it's a very long game. That's typical of Amiga titles. I think that they wanted to make sure you were getting your value for money. The length of the game is just so incredibly long. But it's very frustrating to somebody that's not very good at games. It doesn't have infinite level or infinite life turned on. 16 more coins to get out of here. Yep. Blind jump into spikes. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot about this game to like, and there's a lot about this game to dislike. But I'm going to try my best to beat this stage, because I think that this is the last stage of this zone. And it's like, you can't kill that thing. I don't know what happened to my projectile thing. Freaking... I get so mad I disable auto fire. No, that sounds really cool, though. You were an Amstrad guy? Have you listened to our ARG Presents that we did on the Amstrad? It's like, even just getting back to where I needed to be was a freaking nightmare. There's a coin. Alright, so I need to get up there somehow. Just don't know how. They put it up there. And who knows how you're supposed to get there. Yeah, you aren't kidding, Chris. That would make things so much easier. Or maybe just design your levels in a linear progression. I don't know. Hey, Pixels. Man. I guess so. It's like, why is that here? Okay, I think I finally cracked the code here. Well, with 3 coins left. Yeah. So I mean, you know, the exploration part of it is good. I like that a lot. It's, I guess if I had to narrow down my main complaints, it's like too much stuff to collect. The level design is irritating because there are spikes that instantly kill you. Hey, I can fly. That's kind of neat. Yeah, those spikes are just a killer. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the secrets. It's just the everything else about the game. The okay, I can hit the exit now. So go over here, and the exit is here. Okay. Now please tell me the music changes. Please. Okay, so at least we've got different music. Yeah, if I didn't have infinite lives, and the fact that it's so freaking hard, you can't even get past the first world, the first level. is, but I mean, I do like this music though. Jaunty. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to definitely check that out. Pass that on to Aaron. But yeah, Pixels. I was down. Is this not a thing you can climb on? I guess not. And this, the projectile is the most useless thing in the universe. But anyway, Figgy was talking about comparing this with you know, the other platformers out there, and it's like, well, maybe I was too hard on old Superfrog, and I was not too hard on old Superfrog. All of my initial complaints with the game still stand, but I'm always willing to give it another go, considering it's been almost 3 years since we covered Superfrog on the show. It's hard to believe Amigos is coming up on our 3rd anniversary here in just a couple months. My chicken not raw. Have you heard about Amigathon? Oops. Hang on. Let me shoot you a link here. Amigathon is the annual Amiga gaming marathon that that Aaron and I put on. This is our 2nd one, so it's not like we've been doing it for a million years, but it was a huge success last year, and we're hoping to get a lot of people watching and involved and raise some money for the Children's Miracle Network. Basically, for every $1 you donate, Aaron and I will play 1 minute of your, you know, your Amiga game of choice, and it's a lot of fun. You know, there's always a ton of people in chat. We go all day long. We're hoping, you know, we won't stop playing until the donations stop coming in. So we're hoping to. Last year we raised 792 pounds. This year we're doing it in with an American charity, so we're raising dollars, but we're hoping to raise $1,000 and do something good while enjoying Amiga action. So that's kind of neat, you know, those little see-through walls there. I've got enough to exit now. Boy, we tried playing Treasure Island Dizzy, and we could not get anywhere on it. It was the first puzzle. it was too hard. I think Aaron and I lack the intellectual ability to play those games. It's just like, go down this way. Okay, I'm going down this way. And it's just this thing that bounces you back up. I don't get it. Unless you can, you know. Yeah. We might have just picked the wrong one to start with. Hey, Treyguard. Oh, that's no good. What about my Lucozade? All right. Give me just a second. I'm gonna try and we might do a little bit of BBC Micro next because I need to play some games. I would think that they probably would, Treyguard, because this game is way too tough in my opinion. But this is the original, of course. Maybe not the original, the CD32 port, because it's got 2-button support. Let's see, give me just a second. We are going to take that off. Go here. Yeah, that's exactly right, Hasifa. You hit the nail on the head. All right, video capture. Oh, that's me. And all right, so I think that this... Oh, there is no BBC Micro. There is Amstrad. And there's Arcade. There's no BBC Micro. That's a shame. Oh, that's great. Maybe it's because it's on a Monday and there's less traffic on the server. All right. Oops, it's disappeared. That's great, Chris. That's why we do the show. To get people involved with their favorite games. Okay, so we're going to try this out. This is a brave new world for me. I guess I should switch my scene. And go to here. Just go away. There we go. I'm going to try this out. This is a online